Hey, good morning, guys. Welcome to another episode of PATTAY'S Performance. It's very early Sunday morning, and I don't want to piss off my neighbors. Let me show you something. It's rear strut day, okay? It is Sunday early in the morning. Forget my neighbors. They pissed me off already. We're petty nonsense. We're gonna make some noise today. This has been long overdue for my Honda Element. This is a maintenance issue. I'm gonna be doing front and rear. I'm going to be splitting up the videos, front and rear. Okay, this is a very simple repair to do on your own. I did some research on this repair to see what you guys are doing, and believe it or not, I came up with a lot of negativity, saying it's very hard to do and it's not difficult, or they've done it and the experience that they had, they said screw it, they're going to pay a mechanic to do the fronts, and vice versa. Fronts were tough and then they had someone do the rears. I just took a quick look at the Honda itself, and to me, when I ordered them, I'm like, this is easy peasy 1, 2, 3. Literally, this is a shock. This is a quick strut where you have your strut, your coil spring, and your hat all in one unit. You don't have to take everything apart and shake hands with danger, risk losing your teeth, your nose, and everything. You know, have your head blown off if the spring comes out while you're doing it. Definitely not a good time. Pay the extra money. You're doing it yourself. You're saving it. Just get the quick strut, man. These are a lifetime guarantee, which is also very important to me. Struts can go bad for multiple reasons, but to me, I was always taught when I always start turning wrenches that at every 50,000 miles, shocks and struts, they should be replaced. A lot of people don't even realize their struts are going so bad until they finally make a financial decision to actually replace them, and then they finally get in the car like, whoa, big difference, right? So every 50,000 miles, lifetime guarantee, so all you're doing is you're paying for your time and your labor. Obviously, when you do it once, the second time is going to be a lot easier. We're going to go over a couple of steps that'll make sure the next time you do it, it's going to be easier. A problematic thing that I've read is this mamma jamma right here. The bottom bolt is a pain in the you-know-what-to-do. It is on the bottom of the vehicle. It is exposed to all the elements. Rain, snow, sleet, hail in New York, a lot of rust. It's very exhausting. So what I did is last night and this morning, I've been spraying some rust penetrant on that bottom bolt, and hopefully that'll make our life a lot easier. If not, then we're going to throw a couple of tricks up our sleeve and let's see if we can get it out. So back to the spring. Usually, when you do struts, you need to get an alignment. If you're doing the fronts on your Honda Element, you must get an alignment. If you're doing the rears, you do not need an alignment. It's actually pretty cool ingenuity and design. We get our alignment done every year by our mechanic, unless somebody hits a pothole and it throws everything out of whack. But this year, it's going to be a lot of alignments from my mechanic. He's going to be very happy. Our state inspections are due. This is not a state inspection item, but every time we get our state inspection done, you know, we do all the repairs ourselves here for the most part. So I just have him do alignment, inspection, see you later, love you, bye. All right, so I don't want him to, he's a nice guy, but you never know. I don't want to sit there and start banging us over the head for little things here and there. So anyway, with further ado, let's get down and dirty. Save some money. Keep our Honda Element on the road. Oh, one last thing. These struts, wow, these quick struts are Monroe Roadmatics. I decided not to spend the extra money and go with CarQuest Premium for a couple dollars more because I couldn't find out who made. You know, CarQuest isn't making anything, they're rebranding. Are they rebranding inferior brand? Are they rebranding another brand? I couldn't find any information. I actually posted a question online and I've got no answer. So I'm just gonna go with, not the cheapest, this wasn't the cheapest, but this was the cheapest one guaranteed for life. This is Monroe. Lifetime guarantee. There's a significant price difference from the Monroe Roadmatics to the Monroe Quick Struts. Over like $100 more. So, times that by 4. Car has 150-something thousand miles on it. Struts we're going to have to replace every 50,000 miles. I decided not to spend the extra $400. Number 2, Mandingo. I've been riding trucks my whole life. This is probably the only vehicle that has more tire than rim that I own and has some sort of comfortable suspension. Mandingo and all my other trucks are not set up for that, so I could care less in that retrospect. The reason why I'm doing this is one, as you guys know, I do a lot of small engine repair, and I've been using the Honda instead of Mandingo for a couple of reasons. If I put a hitch on here, and if I put a snowblower on my hitch, it actually bottoms out going over bumps. So I'm hoping that with new struts that it won't prevent that from happening, and I can actually use my hitch in my cargo carrier. If not, then we're back to square one, and I would probably think about maybe doing like maybe a 1 or 2 inch lift in the rear only. We'll give it that rake style, doesn't bother me. I actually like the rake look. And we'll go from there. Okay, there is another alternative to raise your Honda element. You can do struts from an 05 CRV. The fronts are completely bolt-on. The rears, you have to change out this top hat. And like I said, I'm not shaking hands with danger. I'm not going to do that. If you have a buddy or someone who has access to do it, then by all means go for it. It's supposed to give you a 1 inch lift, right? Which is perfect. Very cheap, very easy. But apparently when it settles, it only gives you half an inch. So we threw that one to the curb. I'd only mention that because, you know, giving you guys full displacement, and do this at your own risk or leisure, whether you want to go for that extra half inch lift or not. I'm not going to go for an extra half inch lift because that means I would have to pay somebody, because I don't feel comfortable, you know, switching out these top hats. Absolutely not. Alright, so here we are up on the jack. So I'll show you when you're going on the rear. Anytime you jack up the rear, I always go by the rear diff. Of course, jack stands. Okay, I have it jacked up pretty high for videoing purposes only, but I might need the extra height for leverage. We never know. Okay, and then this is where I have my jack stands. You see this pinch weld right here? This back pinch weld? This is where I set up my jack stand. So follow your pinch weld, go all the way up. You're going to see a little bit of a space in this big extra thick piece of metal right there. And I do it on the other side as well. I'll be very, very honest with you. I would have jacked it up along the frame, but on the passenger side, you have your fuel tank and a couple other things that are actually in the way. Alright guys, so let's just go over some of the tools I'm going to be grabbing and using. I don't know exactly what I need in particular, but I'm going to be taking my brass hammer. Brass is non-marring in case we need to hit something that we shouldn't be hitting in the first place. This is my dead blow in case you really need to have some good torque on it. And a couple of pry bars, small and large. That bottom bolt looks like it's going to be a pain in the you-know-what to get out. It's under a lot of stress. We might have to pry that bolt out as we're trying to back it out to make sure it comes out. 3/8 ratchet with a 3/8 extension on here. This is locking. You don't have to have locking extension. The top hat of the strut bolts are kind of sort of inside the interior, so we're definitely going to need an extension to get to them. Okay. 3/8 metric socket set. This is a Honda. Everything here is a metric, and then also a half-inch socket set for that bottom bolt. And I forgot, we're also going to need, I think that bottom bolt looks like an 18 or 19 millimeter, so we're going to need an 18 or 19 millimeter wrench. That is missing, but I'll definitely get that out. Torque wrench, very, very important. I am huge on using a torque wrench when it comes, because we're taking off our tires, you have to put them back on. There are torque specs for struts, the bottom and the top. I've never done that at all, and I'm just going to continue to do that. All right, just continue to make it tight, give it snug, and give it a go. Milwaukee 3/8 impact wrench. I'm going to be using this to take off the tires, so I actually need my 3/8 impact socket, oopsie doopsie, and my half-inch breaker bar. Okay, for that bottom nut. Like I said, a lot of the reviews are saying that bottom nut is very problematic. So like I said, we're just going to do one side, because what you do to one side is going to be the same as the other. Oh, that's right, it's not. Because on the driver's side, we have to actually drop that evap canister. And you know what we'll do? We'll do the passenger side first, and then I will skip to the driver's side. I'll show you the evap canister and me getting out the driver's side and getting that out, and to show you why we have to pull that evap canister out. Alright, so just a quick other note. Forgot. Anti-seize. Must. The gift and nectar of the gods. Right? This prevents rust and corrosion when we take the bolts out. We're going to put this on everything we take out. Because the next time we do it, it'll be nice and easy, right? This is a routine maintenance item. You'll appreciate this the next time you have to do it. I just want to show you something different. I just picked these up. I'm not going to be using my go-to wrenches. These are Milwaukee Max Bite. Nice chrome plated. Look at that. They have teeth on them. So like I said, that bottom bolt really has me worried. I don't want to strip that out. So I want to give myself every opportunity to make sure that doesn't happen. These are a little bit thicker. These are a aftermarket Chinese wrench compared to having something here in the USA. But we'll give these a go and see how they work out. Without further ado, let's get this party started. So, Honda Elements jacked up high in the sky. 19mm, my Milwaukee 3/8 impact. Does the job well. If you don't have an impact, that's fine. Get the vehicle on the ground, break off the lug nuts, jack it up, and then take it off. Oh, and every Honda video I get questions about my rim and tire setup and my brakes. Rim and tire setup will be, the specs will be listed in the description. Brakes, I'm actually going to do a separate video on. That'll be a cool, interesting video. But let's look at our strut. Alright, so right here is this bottom bolt that we need to get out, and it's very problematic. As you guys seen, I sprayed some lube on that side. As you see, it follows all the way up inside the exterior of the vehicle. This is the hardest part, so I always do the hardest part first, because that means I get to cruise to the finish line instead of struggling at the very end. And then we will get the bottom out, see how rusty this thing is, and then we will go to the top. And then as we're in here, we're just looking at the other components of the vehicle, see if anything else needs to be changed or replaced while I'm here. I know my muffler is missing. The previous owner paid a repair shop to repair their exhaust system. They did a horrible job. That is another video for another day. That will not be done until probably the summer. You just give, this is what it looks like to be in New York. Actually not too bad. Maybe we'll make a video on some of the things you need to look at when buying a Honda Element. Oh, tell me guys, let me know what you think about that. But without further ado, let's try and get this bottom bolt out. Let's see if we can struggle a little bit. Alright, let me check out the camera. And the camera was pretty good. We got the sunrise, not too bad. This is actually a 17mm. We're actually going to see if my Milwaukee Impact could break this. If not, then we're just going to go by hand. That does not sound like it's going to break it. No, not happening. It's a little wake-up call for my neighbors. Before we bust out the big boy, let's see if we can get this out. Oh, I don't think this is going. Nope, not budging. Not budging. Hey, didn't hurt to try, right? So now we're gonna have to bust out the breaker bar. And hopefully this is enough to squeeze this thing. Come on. Suck it out. Big extension bar. I think I'm gonna block this. I'm gonna block you guys. Oh, let's see. This is what everybody was complaining about. We don't want to strip this. Make sure it's nice and new. Oh my god. Alright. Oh, some much easier if we had a lift. No bueno. We're doing the dance. This is brutal. I'm laying on my belly. I'm using all my weight. And I'm not the skinniest person. This is not budging. I'm actually seeing stars. Now if we had this vehicle up higher, we could just push that way, but we don't. I'm gonna have to get some heat on this thing, which kind of sucks because we're gonna need a torch. I don't have one, I use something else, but you guys could use a regular propane butane torch. I have a little something different. Let me just try. I think you guys know I put in a conservative effort. This is bad. This is real bad. Oh my God. And the vehicle can't be jacked up any higher. Lord have mercy. Alright, you guys weren't lying about this bolt. Alright, so we made some progress. Let me show you the funky position that you guys have to put yourself in. Hand on my muffler, hand here, and look. We have movement. The problem is the back is spinning, and it shouldn't be. We're going to use a set of vice grips we hold. We're going to clamp it down and rub against the frame. Let me crack this loose first, and then I'll get you guys a better angle. The vice grips that I'm using in the Milwaukee torque box, this should be perfect for this situation. We have given away a few sets of these on the channel. We do plan on giving more away, but that's something that you guys have to subscribe and find out about. So let me just torque this down, like so. These things are a lifesaver. I use these all the time at work. You guys see me, how it saved an expensive tow truck and roll call at work using these. So hopefully this is enough bite and we could hold this against the frame. Yep, they're holding. Sweet. Oh my God. This should be getting easier. Any C's would have helped. And I guarantee you, this was probably put on with an impact gun. You heard that crack? That's actually the rust freeing up as we undo this bolt. Whoops. Hope I didn't break my ratchet. It's not the end of the world. It's lifetime. We have broke the teeth. Alright. Now we have to have a little bit of balancing. Alright. So we have a slight problem, which is fine. Look at that. Bolt out. Can you guys see that? But look what's still there. So that means the bolt snapped, which is fine. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get a punch and drive this out, because remember, this is spinning. This wasn't supposed to be connected here, it's not. So this is gonna be nut and bolted here. We'll get a new nut, we'll get a bolt from the hardware store with a nut, and we'll nut and bolt it the way it should be. And then we don't have to worry about this issue ever again. Alright guys, so we're working in the sun, we are outside. You guys can see there is a little bit of a gap here. Okay, the problem is when I've been bouncing with the lower control arm, and if I have it all the way down, which is tension off the bolt, it hits the subframe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut it here at the thread so it's flush, and then I could use the back of the control arm, which is bending, which is fine. We'll bend it back and we'll push the rest of the nut out. The only reason why I'm not cutting it flush is I don't want to risk cutting into the lower control arm, and then I'm going to have a difficult time trying to punch the rest out. Alright, so see how I cut the head off? Now I'm going to get this down on its own force. See how I have it jacked up for more clearance? And then we're going to be able to take tension off the bolt and slide it out. That's the goal. Alright, so we're back. I ran out to work. I got my torch. I'll show you guys that when we do the second one. But I ended up cutting the original bolt into multiple pieces. This is where it snapped, right? And then we'll go here, snapped, cut, and cut. So we made 2 cuts on this, right? Snapped, cut the top off, wiggled it out a little bit with the pry bar, cut here, wiggled it out, and just kept doing it. And then eventually when it came to cutting off this part, there was finally enough for me to get a punch in there and punch it all the way out. If you can get a punch in and punch it all the way out, good for you. I had trouble. But like I said, everybody's experience is different. On that other YouTube video that I watched, and I don't want to call out another channel, they're a great channel. Theirs was already nut and bolted, so that means their struts were replaced. Mine were as well as their Spectrums, but I guess they just didn't do a great job putting it back together. Anyhow, now it's time to access the top because we are free on the bottom. I got matching bolts. All right, I don't know what size they are. I just grabbed the hardware store, matched them up. See the love you buy. These are fine thread standard. They aren't metric like these. That doesn't matter. What matters is that they're a grade 8 bolt. We're going to have a lot of pressure on this strut, so we want to make sure you have the right procedure. So next thing we're going to have to do is you guys are going to watch me climb into the Honda, and we're going to have to access the top hat strut and unbolt this thing from the bottom. Alright, so inside the Honda we're going to be looking for this access panel right here. My Lucas oil product bottle, gear oil for the rear of this, is facing right at where it needs to be, courtesy of Henry at Mows and Blowers. Okay, and then right across from that is the one for the driver's side. So we're just going to pop that off real quick. Sketchy, right? It's on jack stands. Yes, sir. Come with me. Don't drop my stupid camera. Let's see what you guys are looking at. And we're just going to pop this cover off. Right here at the bottom. And our top hat is exposed. Alright, so with our top hat exposed, remember, these are aftermarket struts. So when you get aftermarket struts, right, they include the hardware in them. So this might not be the correct one. I'm just sizing it up for you guys. I'm going to tell you what the Monroe one is because that's what's in here. But as far as what the OEM Honda one should be, you know, not a clue. That's why I said in my intro that you guys should just get a good universal metric socket set so you don't have to worry about, you know, if you have the wrong or right size in the first place. So that was 15. Let me make sure it's nice and snug. Yes, this is a 14 millimeter. Oops. Alright, they're free. And same thing here, just 2 bolts from the top hat. Let me get out of this mamma jammer, get the strut out, and we'll do this dance all over again. Alright, so check this out. Look at this. These are non-OEM. So who knows when these were replaced. Look how rusty these are. Brand new. So that's why sometimes you won't even do less than 50,000 miles, because I don't even know how old these are, but not, just like I said, 50,000 miles, just swap them out and you never have to worry about anything. All right, these weren't blown out, unless these already are blown out and just the oil has been washed away. You can tell if a strut's been blown out if there's oil leaking out, but like I said, this just rusty, crusty. Look at this hat, you know, nasty. Gotta go. All right, so interesting fact, you do not need a second hand. I was able to just prop the bottom of the strut into place at the base. I'll show you. And now we're at the home run part. We just have to get one of these bolts in with anti-seize, cover this thing with anti-seize, and then we can start working on the driver's side. Whew. Alright, so let's see if we can get some good light in here. Alright, it's hard to see underneath the car, but you guys remember earlier in the video, there's like the bracket here. I propped it into the bracket and that kind of held it in place and I was able to finagle it through. Now, I just have to get a pry bar in here and push it in. Alright, so I'm a one-man band. Mrs. PATTAY'S, I know she's always willing to help me, but I'm going to have to pass on this job for her. Just took my punch, wiggle this in the hole. Once I got it lined up, I took a socket and I used that to pry it up and let it go. So this is just going to slide through. Obviously, when we get this all the way in and I thread it through, we're just going to ditch the socket. This is a very expensive socket. Can't leave it there. Alright, so here's the driver's side. Just going to get some good old-fashioned heat. We are going to heat this sucker up. We're hoping that we don't have to cut this out. Obviously I'm filming, so I'm doing the barely, supposed to just move the torch around. I want to get this nice and even. So we'll just hold it, and we'll let the flame work its way out. Alright, heat made no difference, that bolt broke anyway, but believe it or not the passenger side was actually easier because that other part that was spinning was perfect. This one snapped inside, actually had to cut that flush. Alright, so I'm going to paint it because I had to, got a little too close, which is fine, I want no bare metal. You know, Honda elements suffer from a lot of rust issues. Okay, I am running out of daylight. I am running out of time. It's supposed to rain. I lost an hour because I had to get hardware, get some stuff for the missus. So I will see you guys when we're done. The tools that were required to do this job and what we ended up using, completely different. But the most important part is that we got it done. Mission accomplished, and you guys could do it too. Do not let this video deter you. If it does, so be it. But at least you guys have a better idea of what is involved in an 03 Honda Element. Alright guys, it's done, but it's dark. Most important part is that it's done. What a difference in tools from what we thought we needed in the beginning to what we are now. I would say keep the 3/8 short, but if you have deep, go with deep. If you have both, bring both. If you don't have one, buy deep if you're on a budget. The reason why I say deep is because we have to do the top of the strut. The driver's side on the hat actually start the bottom out and push my short socket up, and I don't want to strip it. So deep socket short on that. Get a 3/8 general socket set because the nuts that were on the Honda were different than the one here, and I didn't want to reuse the hardware. I used 5-ton jack stands for the video. It actually ended up being a blessing in disguise because we needed that extra clearance, if you guys seen me, to get underneath there and use the extra torque to break those bolts out. But if you don't want to deal with any of that nonsense, this right here, angle grinder with a cutoff wheel, you don't have to break anything. Just cut it out. You say it's in the shop, when in doubt, cut it out, or when in doubt, hammer it out. Okay, let me see. This one actually broke in half. I have the bolts in my pocket. I'm a hot mess right now. See this here? If you were to just cut it, then you don't need to use a crazy breaker bar. You cut it, and then you just use the breaker bar to kind of back it out, and then get a pry bar right here on the shoulder, and just push it out. And then you use the punch to hammer out the other side. We had to get new hardware, so 19mm wrench ended up being, that's what I used. An assortment of pry bars, big and small. Of course, the breaker bar. Evap canister. 3/8 long extension. Just happens to be a wobble. Don't need to be a wobble. 10mm. Okay. And then the other one was actually done. If they snap, it's okay. You use self-tapping screws. Now, self-tapping screw was already in there, so that was 5/16. So that's this right here. I did bring some heat, thinking that the heat would save one of these bolts. That was not the case. It snapped anyway. I got that thing cherry red. Yes, the punch. Punches for sure, hammer for sure. Okay, you guys are gonna see I had to do some engineering to get that done. That was a calculated risk. Do that at your own. It worked for me. Safety goggles, right? I have my safety glasses on. So, you know, that's that. So let me just show you the struts, and then I'll show you the car. These are the struts. One of these says, see, look, it says Spectrum. Come on, focus. Spectrum. So, I don't know how long ago these were done. They kept pretty good records on this vehicle, except for when they didn't tell me about the head gasket and the new radiator, trying to cover that. Anyway, that was another video that we covered. That was awesome. Let me show you the Honda. Honda looks great. I'm sure it's going to handle like a Ferrari, or it better be. But look at that. Look at that space. All right, and then compare it to the front. Ellis Mowers, if you are watching, Ellis Mowers, another great YouTube channel, check him out. He's small engine repair like me. He does a lot of lawn tractors. He has a Honda Element in El Manuel, and he has a video on the slave cylinder and something else. So I know Ellis was also at the Dragon meetup too as well. Great YouTuber, great guy. That's that. So we're done. That's the most important part. I mean, I really can't stress that. I started at 9 o'clock this morning, and it is, it's dark. I don't know what time it is. A lot longer than when I should have participated. I have no idea what a mechanic shop would quote you to do this. They've probably done this multiple times, so they probably know, just when in doubt, cut it out right away instead of trying to salvage everything. So my suggestion to you is, the first sign of trouble, just get the die grinder and start cutting. Don't even bother. I had that driver's side out, even with dropping the evap canister in 30 minutes. The passenger side was a completely different story. Installation was still a pain in the butt, getting the bottom bolt to line up. Right? I'll show you the pictures. What worked on the passenger side did not work on the driver's side with staggering the socket, so I resorted to the punch. That worked out fantastic. Alright, let me show you what I had to do to get the driver's side to line up. See, has a hole in the middle? This is shaking hands with danger. Hole in the middle, up on the bottom of the strut. Obviously safety goggles on, and we were good to go. Alright guys, so I'm going to call it a wrap. That one That other YouTube video, right? I'm not saying that's a bad video. That's a fantastic video. I think both of those videos should correlate. When you're done watching this video, go on 1aauto.com, or not, just go to 1aauto. You know what? I'll be the good YouTuber. I will put I will be the great content creator. I will put a link to their video in my description, right? Both of those videos correlate, all right? They showed you the easy peasy way if everything works out to be that way. My way, they have a lift, so it's a little bit easier. I'm literally, as you guys seen, on my back on jack stands, just like most of you guys. That's how you guys are going to be doing it. So, you know, if you watch their video first and then watch mine, fantastic. You know, vice versa. Watch both, because I didn't get all the camera angles. I didn't get all the camera shots. I'm not going to do that. That's a disservice to you guys to try and compete with a video like that. This is really more for the nitty and gritty, the driveway damsels, the weekend warriors, the do-it-yourselfers, right? This is what it's all about. What else was I going to say? So yeah, so anyway, I absolutely have no regrets. I am, as difficult as this was, I mean, listen, when you accomplish something, I don't care how long I've been doing certain things, it's always a wonderful feeling if it's the same thing over and over again. So I hopefully hope between this video and 1aauto and a couple other videos that I have, that this empowers you and challenges you to go out there, get a couple tools and take care of it and tackle to do it yourself, right? There was no specialty tools needed, okay? Everything I use can be purchased at hand, and hopefully that the money you saved, you can use it to buy possibly a better quality part or take care of other repairs that you need, or even better, upgrades, right? As you guys know, I'm a huge fan of modification, but I'm also a huge fan of maintenance. Maintenance is very, very important, and I will say this through and through again, maintenance before modification. I preach that on my channel. If you ever seen with the other videos with Mandingo, I mean, we dropped 5,000 on it in a week, and that was just in parts and upgrades, and it was just a little bit of both, and then we rewarded myself with a really nice bumper. The Honda, I already rewarded myself with something that is another video coming down the line. You'll see that. I think it's pretty cool. I posted about it. So if you guys could put two and two together, you know what it is. If not, then, you know, just stay tuned. Here's another thing, right? This is just a side note, Honda Ellen people. Bruce Pender, another fantastic YouTuber, great asset, been around for years. Told my wife it takes 15 minutes to clean up your tools when you're done. And I don't know, Bruce. I don't know if Bruce is gonna watch this. He's another small engine guy. But Bruce, 15 minutes, what do you think? Alright guys, so with that being said, smash the like button, smash the subscribe button. Guess what? I'll see you guys on the next episode of PATTAY'S Performance. And don't forget, the Mrs. and I, we go live every Saturday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Please, 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 in the comments, be honest with me. Tell me, between my video and correlation with 1aauto video, do you guys feel confident in doing yourself, or do you just want to have, you know, pay a professional or somebody who just wants to do this? Just let me know, right? Together we learn and together we grow. So if you can learn two things from this video, how to do it or how not to do it and have somebody else do it. All right, guys, later.